a loaf of bread, so excuse the noise. But today I want to share with you how you can take Dollar Tree food and you can can that for all winter long. I did a video series on these many years ago, and I wanted to share with you that I just bought this beans at the Dollar Tree. For $1, you had all these beans, and I'm going to share with you how you can can it and how you can stretch your meals. A lot of people ask me, why would you bother canning things like this when it's packaged and you can use it like that? Well, two things. One is, if you can them, they're already cooked for easy, simple meals. Otherwise, you would have to soak these for a long time. When you pressure can beans like these, they become so tender, more tender than if you just would soak them overnight. The canning recipe I have is a canning recipe that's been tried and true. It is not USDA regulated because I'm going to be canning these non-soak method. I'm not the only one who does it. Hundreds and thousands of people do, and it's amazing. I've been doing this now for about 10 years. Each time they turn out perfect. So when you go to the Dollar Tree, you can get all kinds of beans. First thing you want to do is you want to put them in your bowl and you want to rinse them really well. When they harvest beans, sometimes there could be little stones in there, or there might be some defective beans in it. So you want to soak your beans for a couple minutes, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to pack our beans into our pint jars. I have some Dollar Tree beans that I've been collecting, and I'm also going to use some of these as well. So I'm going to wash these beans and I'll get back to you in just a moment. So our beans are washed. Now you need to follow these instructions really closely if you want your beans to turn out perfect. You have to take 1/2 cup of any kind of bean to 1 pint. Sometimes people don't follow it quite thoroughly, and then the beans get too thick. So it's very crucial that it's 1/2 cup to the liquid of the jar. This is the easiest canning recipe you're ever going to find, but it has to be pressure canned. All meat, all beans, and most all vegetables have to be pressure canned. There's no way out around it. That makes it safe. Since you're canning this pressure canning, you can add all kinds of things to it. Because this is 90 minutes for quarts and 75 minutes for pints, you can add meat to it, all kinds of whatever you want to add, because it is going to be a very low acid. I'm adding some peppers and onions and mushrooms to mine. So I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle some in each jar. This will give added flavoring. Now all we have to do is fill these with water. And we're going to pressure can them for 75 minutes for quarts and 90 minutes for pints. If you're new at pressure canning, I have a whole playlist. Hundreds of videos on pressure canning from beginners to more advanced stages. Also, if you don't like to pressure can and you do water bath canning, I have lots and lots of videos where you can have water bath canning as well, and the items that are safe to water bath. Alright, I'll get back to you in just a moment. At this stage, you could add some salt if you wanted to. I don't add the salt to it because I'll season it when I make my chili or whatever recipe I'm working on. For me, the easiest is this way. Sometimes when you add salt in the high temperatures, it can give it an off flavor. So for me, it's easier just to pressure can everything in its raw original form and then add the seasonings later. You know, with the year 2020, there's been a lot of shortages, a lot of food shortages, especially in the springtime. And they say in 2021, we're going to have some shortages as well. So whenever you find things like beans, and if you are able to pressure can your food, if you're a prepper like me, then you should stock up on some of that, because you just don't know what items are going to be in short supply any year or any time. It all depends on the weather and the economic situation of our day. But preparing is a wise thing to do. One thing amazing about canning jars is your investment can last you a lifetime. These jars and these rings can last you as long as you want. And that's something that is, you can't have every day. Not everything you can buy is guaranteed to last you a lifetime. Just take good care of your items, store them in a proper place when you're done using them, and it can last you a lifetime. I'm canning with some of the jars that were my grandma's from about 60 to 70 years ago. All right, everyone, I'll get back to you in just a moment. One of the things I find really important is when you're running a canner, a pressure canner or any kind of canner, it's really important to run it full simply because you're using up all that energy and it's no use you just can a couple things. I pulled this chicken out of the freezer and I thought, wow, this is a perfect way that I can add to the canning of my beans. So this is chicken that is cooked and frozen. Now it's partly thawed because I was going to use it for another recipe and then I decided to make something different. So I'm just going to go ahead and can the chicken along with my beans since they're both the same canning time. So I'm going to go ahead and load up these pints of chicken and add it to my canner. I don't like canning raw chicken. That's just my own preference because I don't like the way it looks in the jars. I like canned chicken that's already cooked. It's much easier to can it raw. All right, I'll get back to you in just a moment. Now, I have most of my own canned chicken broth, but I was going through my pantry and thinking, what could I use to can this chicken with? And here I found 2 of these from the Dollar Tree. I'm not sure how long ago I had them, but this will be perfect for this. Then I don't have to open one of my own canned stock. It is amazing how home canned broth, though, is so much better. This here almost looks like water, and my home canned broth is so beautiful and yellow. Add a little bit to each one just to give it just a little more flavor. And here is the finished product: Dollar Tree beans and some chicken. Home canned. You can't get much better than that, and you can't get much cheaper than that. This is Homestead Tessie Mobile Home Living. No more fluff, back to the basic stuff. See you guys tomorrow. So if prepping is something that you enjoy and you want to know all about food prepping and all about prepping in general, here's a playlist right below of all kinds of videos that I share with you on everything that you need to know about prepping.